Hey guys, it's Lori from the Watchman's Midnight Hour. The reason why I'm facing this direction is hummingbirds actually come up and drink from those orange flowers. So we'll see what happens. I am speaking in order to address the issue of people thinking that just because Jesus made, supposedly, they called it wine, according to what men have perceived it to be, it gives them excuse to be able to drink. And I want to prove why that is not a reality that we should focus on as a man's view, and obviously not God's view. Okay? Just hold on with me. I was actually speaking to a nephew of mine about makeup, and he was saying, "Oh, he forces his wife to not wear makeup because, in the book of Enoch, it was the fallen angels that taught to wear makeup." And I started to speak to that issue and say, hey, it's really a personal commitment between God and that person, and that your wife should have some freedom to be able to put makeup on if she'd like to look pretty for you, or, to at least enhance the beauty that God already gave her. And the Lord led me to speak to the issue of Jesus and how he changed, according to men, he changed the water into wine. That's the word being used. And what's interesting is the Lord brought my attention to the fact that it was at the end of the wedding that Jesus made this delicious drink. And second of all, he also doesn't use death to create something, correct? And let's see, some other points would be, oh, yeah, and then as I started to think about that, how, in the word it says it's not wrong to drink, but it's wrong to get drunk. So if Jesus had made wine at the end, after everyone already drank up all the other wine, he would then be going against his word. He would be making people become drunk, would he not? So then it started making me think a little more deeply too, that if there's no death in this drink, right, to create it, if was at the end of the wedding, and yet alcohol would make them more drunk, then he didn't do that. So I started to think, well, when God created something on the earth, like let's go back to manna. Manna came from heaven. The people had never seen it before, had never experienced it before, and it was unique and it was delicious. So I look at it as the kind of food we will be eating in heaven. So if you go and you portray the issue of what Jesus made, he obviously made something heavenly, something that came from heaven. And also another point, they didn't drink filtered water like we have today, right? And no one wants to drink tap water today, do they? Okay, so obviously, even if you gave these people our filtered water, they would be like, oh my goodness, this is the most amazing drink ever, right? This is the best wine ever, because we don't even know what filtered water was, right? And so I just want to say to those who think that, hey, I can go out and drink and have a good time with my alcohol, whatever, and abuse it, misuse it, and maybe not even walk in the spirit because of it, which we know it's like an adder. We know, like a snake, and it can bite you. It can destroy people's lives. It does destroy people's lives. I'm not trying to tell you all to stop drinking if you have it under control and you know how to do it right. But just know that you may be able to handle it, but there may be a brother in Christ who can't. And if they see you drinking, or if they see your lingo saying, hey, Jesus said, he made wine so you can drink, it could create trouble for people and actually destroy them. So I just would hope that you all would get the true understanding that when Jesus created something on this earth, when God produced something on this earth, it was always the best, the most beautiful, the most healthiest, the most heavenly type food and drink that anyone has ever tasted or experienced. And the only thing that mankind who don't know God can correlate it to would be wine or alcohol, because that to them is what gives them joy and satisfaction. So hang in there, guys. Just thought I would share that. I think it's important we all know, and we be careful not to twist the word of God in regards to what Jesus did when he created this beautiful drink at the end of a wedding, so as not to encourage alcoholism and people becoming drunk. All right, take care. Bye-bye.